So it really is an honour for me to be launching my good mate Lynn Quinn's new collection of chapters about curriculum. It is an honour, and I was really pleased when she asked me, but I have to tell you, within seconds of her asking me, she said, but you do realise people are here for the welcome event and a glass of wine, so don't talk for too long. So Lynn, 1 page, okay? Big font. I think it's really brave of Lynn to tackle the issue of curriculum, partly because it is so contested, but perhaps even more because nobody knows what the hell it means. So I'm going to ask you, just if you can indulge me for a moment, to spend 30 seconds in silence, coming up with a clear definition in 1 or 2 sentences of what curriculum means. 30 seconds. Just tell the person next to you, share your definition with them, and I want you to figure out for yourselves, how much did your definition overlap with the person next to you, and what bits did they have that you left out? I'll give you 30 seconds for that task too. The reason I'm interrupting you is because if I gave you another half an hour, you still wouldn't come to any consensus. Am I right? I'm quite sure that there was a lot of overlap. James Garraway, you meant to be listening and you talking to the person next to you? I'm sure there was overlap, but there isn't consensus, so it really is a challenging book to take on. This book, Reimagining Curriculum, follows on from an earlier book that Lynn edited called Reimagining Academic Staff Development, and both of them really look at the issue of spaces for disruption. This book includes 41 authors and a republication of an article by the late Brenda Leibovitz, and it engages with both epistemological and ontological concerns. Across the book is a deep concern about the role of higher education in both knowledge creation and the development of people who can be critical citizens and who can act for the public good. I think the main disruption this book offers us is a disruption of common sense and atheoretical approaches to higher education, which in many ways has actually been Lynn's professional project for her entire career. This is a collection that forces us to engage with other perspectives and contexts in ways that resist simple description and exceptionalizing. I really loved the sheer diversity of institutions represented, the diversity of disciplines and fields represented in this book, and the varied theoretical approaches that were taken in the chapters of this book. It not only provides us with a rich array of approaches to curriculum research, it offers a spectrum of what aspects of a curriculum we should be disrupting. There's a number of chapters in this book on decolonization, from the perspective of both individual reflections and institutional reviews. There's a concern about who gets to construct the curriculum. What role do students play? What role do academics play? How participatory is the curriculum construction process? Questions are also asked about the literacy practices that we expect or that we develop in our students. How does a student need to think, read, write, and be in order to be successful in the academy? And how does a student need to think, read, write, and be in order to be prepared for her profession? And whose interests are being served in the reproduction of particular ways of being? The book also offers us a strong focus on knowledge in the curriculum, and I was really pleased to see that. The focus on knowledge is key because anyone who's traced the history of curriculum development will know that many well-intentioned curriculum experiments with the desire to be inclusive have resulted in the carving out of knowledge in ways that most harm the working class student. The book speaks directly to academics from many disciplines and to academic leaders, so it's fantastic that we have our DVCs here. But in particular, a number of chapters hone in and speak to academic developers. Academic developers are positioned in this book not as supporters of the status quo, but rather as disruptors, people who have themselves reflected deeply on the nature of knowledge and knowing. The criticality and sensitivity to context required by third space professionals, such as academic developers and instructional designers, is explicitly dealt with in this book. It also touches briefly on the elephant in the room, the issue of institutional differentiation. In particular, there are great chapters on universities of technology and on the much maligned, but in my view urgently needed, vocational aspects of education. Given South Africa's history of differentiation by hate, it is unsurprising that we are timid about discussing differentiation, which could mean a genuinely differentiated sector with strong offerings across institutional types. But of course, these concerns are not peculiar to this country, though our history, I think, has given us a particularly sharp edge to some of the debates. And so the chapters in this book by authors from other countries help to remind us that we share an endeavour, and with that, we share a responsibility. I'd like to congratulate Lynn Quinn on this wonderful contribution to our curriculum conversations, and I'd like to encourage you all to read the text, because there really is something for everybody in this book. Thank you.